Hi, students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am broadcasting to you from beautiful Budapest in Hungary. Today, this class is for members chat. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. It's a very useful lesson to learn the correct strategies and structure for writing task 2 of the exam. Writing task 2 is the bigger task. It's worth about 65% of your total band score for the writing section. Hi, Parminder. There's one of our members joining now. Members get these classes 3 times each week for focused attention and, of course, showing our appreciation for helping us help them, supporting us. So if you're a member, you do have access to our 6 full practice exams, as well as you can request these classes and some other perks. So it's worth being a member. Materials do come from our websites, aehelp.com or academicenglishhelp.com for the academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for the general version of the test. You can use the code LIVE20 with a 20% discount on those websites. Hi, Amrit. Hi, Preeti. Hi, Kisi. Good to see more members coming into the class on time. Students, members, if you have questions or if you have requests for topics, members, send me an email, Adrian, ADRIAN, at aehelp.com. All right, so members, you probably, I think most of you were in yesterday's class. We started a task 2 question. We finished the planning and we started the introduction. So we'll just do a quick review of the question and the planning so far. Amrit, study hard every day. Do at least a couple full-timed practice exams before Saturday. Okay, and good luck on your exam. Okay, students, so let's focus in. Here is our writing task 2 question. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Many people believe that cigarette smoking has had a negative impact on societies for far too long, and the only solution to end it is to make cigarettes illegal worldwide. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So Yuru, one of our newer members, she requested that we discuss this type of a task 2 where it's to what extent. So it's to what degree, how much do you actually agree or disagree? And I chose this task 2 question because it's a good one for partially agree. So we paraphrased the question. We identified yesterday that the topic here is smoking is bad and the controlling idea. So the controlling idea is what we are specifically interested in for the question or the topic, smoking is bad, is banning it worldwide is the only solution. Okay? All right. So we did a little bit of critical thinking. It's very important. We talked about the what, the why, and the how. So we discussed what is banning cigarette smoke worldwide. Now this is important to review. Pay attention, members, because this information will be very crucial for body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and the conclusion today. Okay, so what is banning cigarette smoke? Again, remember, keep it simple. What is banning cigarette smoke worldwide? Well, it means to create laws for making cigarettes unavailable for people in every country on the planet. So people have no access to tobacco. All right, so here, when the question is to what extent do you agree or disagree, you have to look at both sides of the coin. So you have to look at the why would this be a good solution to ban cigarettes worldwide, and the other side of the coin, why might this be a bad solution? So why is banning cigarettes globally the only solution? Well, because cigarettes are highly addictive and people find ways to access cigarettes from other places or other countries. And it's the only way that we can discourage the production of tobacco at the same time everywhere. Hi Vivek, hi Hung, welcome into the class. All right, and then we asked the question, why could banning cigarettes globally be a bad solution? And many of you came up with very quick, clever answers. You said it could suddenly lead to an increase in crime, so illegal trading of tobacco, black market, of course. It will lead to unemployment and negative impact on economies. Tobacco plays a huge role for the economies of certain countries and for people's jobs. So then we quickly went over the how. Well, how to ban cigarette smoking everywhere, set specific times and dates when people can no longer purchase cigarettes legally, make it punishable by jail time, pay fines, high monetary penalties, get rid of the tobacco fields, burn them. Hi Reba, good to see a new member. Make sure to send me an email. Okay, so finally in yesterday's class, we came up with our thesis. The thesis reads, I partially agree that banning tobacco globally is the only feasible solution to curtail the prolonged negative impacts of smoking. However, this may not be a viable resolve because of economic and physical dependence. So I'm using some advanced vocabulary here, but you could write this in a simpler way. You could just say, I partially agree that banning tobacco globally is the only realistic solution to stop the long-term negative effects of smoking. However, this might not be possible because of money and physical dependence or addiction. Okay? All right, so last but not least, very importantly, we worked on the introduction. We did the hook together. We already have the thesis. And I gave you the background as homework, right? And I know some of you did that because I got a couple of emails with background sentences. So that was good for those of you who did it. Good job. I completed the introduction for us so we can work on the body paragraphs and the conclusion today. So here's the hook, okay? Again, students, viewers, a good task 2 should have 3 key elements. It should have a hook, it should have a background, it should have a thesis, okay? There are way too many generic introductory paragraphs in the IELTS exam, and they're simply not getting good scores because they're not natural, they're not original. So way too many students write introductions like, cigarette smoking has been a negative on society for a long time. This essay will discuss whether or not banning cigarette smoking is a good idea, and I partially agree to do this. Okay, that's a generic introduction. It will not help you to get a high band score like a band 7 or a band 8. It's not good enough, okay? Too many students will write a very similar or even the same introduction, okay? That's not a college or university level introduction. So you have to practice hook, background, thesis, okay? And here's an example. So hook, smoking is the cancer of society. Background, for the past century and a half, millions of people have suffered the financial and health deficits from smoking a pack of cigarettes each and every day. Certainly, tobacco is destructive for both smokers and non-smokers when inhaled as first or secondhand smoke, and this negative plague on society needs to be stopped. So that's my background. It gives a definition of what is smoking, what does it mean for society. You can write it with your own words. It does not have to be too complicated. And why it's important to discuss this, because it's destructive for smokers and non-smokers, so it has to be stopped. Okay? Is that background clear? Kisi, Amrit, Vivek, Reba, Roshni? Yeah, Amrit, absolutely. A good introduction can be around 70 words. So, Amrit, if you think about it, a strong task 2 essay is about 300 words. So if you divide that by 4, right, then you end up with roughly about 70 to 80 words per paragraph on average. Okay, Amrit? So if you have 70 words for your introduction, you have 80 words for body 1, you have 80 words for body 2, and you have 50 words for the conclusion. That's kind of a good template to think about, okay? A good introduction has at least a few sentences, okay? It sets the foundation for your essay, all right? If the introduction is vague or unclear, it doesn't give the reader or your audience direction of what you're actually discussing or doing. If it's just a repetition of the question, it's not considered useful. And in college or university, your professors will actually penalize you very strongly for that. So your grades will go down. Okay, careful. All right. And then of course, the last sentence is the thesis, beginning with the I here onto the next page. So I partially agree that banning tobacco globally is the only feasible solution to curtail the prolonged negative impacts of smoking. However, this may not be a viable resolve because of economic and physical dependence. Okay, so now we begin with body paragraph 1. Body paragraph 1, based on my thesis, should discuss banning tobacco globally is the only feasible solution. Okay, so that's what body paragraph 1 should discuss, and it should begin with a topic sentence. Okay, so the first sentence is your topic sentence. It's a detailed paraphrase of point 1. Okay, so in this case, point 1 is banning tobacco globally is the only feasible solution to stop the negative impacts of smoking. So write a sentence, members. Write your topic sentence for this body paragraph 1. Body paragraph 1 here discusses that banning cigarettes everywhere in the world at the same time is the only way to really put an end to the use of tobacco. So give me a nice topic sentence, a nice paraphrase. I'm going to do the same. Okay? All right, so there's my topic sentence. Again, if you know what you're doing, all you need to really focus on is your English, so choosing the right words, paying attention to your grammar to put it together correctly. Okay, while you're thinking about your topic sentence, this is how I paraphrased my first point and added a little bit of detail. So it can be argued that the only realistic method of putting an end to smoking is to establish laws internationally which make this habit illegal. Okay. Amrit says, imposing a ban on tobacco use can be an effective method which could lead to prosperous results. Amrit, really nice. Very, very nice topic sentence. I like it. Give me a good explanation for that with maybe an example, and you'll get a band 9. It's perfect grammar, nice use of vocabulary. Great job, Amrit. Take that level with you into your exam, and I'm sure you'll get a fantastic score. Hung says, the most effective and fastest way to remove cigarettes from society is banning it by law. Yeah, Hung, very good. You don't need the there, Hung, but otherwise a very nice topic sentence as well. And I love how you use the word effective and fastest. Most effective and fastest. Very nice qualifiers, Hung. Those are great. Okay, Euro says, enforcing a global ban on cigarettes can be the single most effective way to curb and further harm cigarettes. Okay, just a little bit of correction, Euro. Enforcing, I love the beginning, Euro. The beginning is very good. Enforcing a global ban on cigarettes can be the single most effective way to curb any further harm cigarettes have on societies. Yeah. Not can have, but just have on societies. Euro. I tripped up a little bit reading it, but it's quite good. So the only word that's unnecessary there is the word can. Take out the word can, Euro, and it's perfect. Okay, Preeti says, prohibition of smoking is a true approach which can prevent negative habits because they're not illegal habits yet, Preeti. Okay? So negative habits that lead to health deficits. Okay, it's not bad, Preeti. It's not bad. It's a fairly good paraphrase of point one. Roshni says, in the 21st century, there is a dire need to prohibit smoking cigarettes to improve the prosperous life. Prosperous is a little bit spelled differently, Roshni, which leads to, which can be realized through imposing strict laws worldwide, which can be realized, Roshni. It's a little bit of a tricky ending there. Notice your repetition, Roshni, of the word improve. You want to avoid that, all right? Kisi says, banning tobacco is the most useful method to prevent people from smoking. Kisi, I really like how you're able to express your ideas very simply and elegantly. That is excellent, okay? So you're using good vocabulary, you're not overcomplicating your sentence unnecessarily, yet it's a very effective topic sentence. So banning tobacco is the most useful, I would probably say the most effective method to prevent people from smoking. Okay, very good, Kisi. All right, and next comes the explanation, right? So we need to explain this. We need to explain how this works. So give me an explanation, and remember, members, that your explanations should be measurable, visible, quantifiable, so clear and simple to understand for your reader. Here, when you have your topic sentence in your reader's mind, so your audience, your reader is thinking, what do you mean? How can that happen? Or why can that happen? Okay, so you need to answer that for your reader. You really want to go step by step in your structure, give that explanation. Okay, so I'm going to explain myself. You do the same, and just like with the topic sentence, we'll compare. All right. Give you a couple of seconds head start here. On that. Okay, so what do I mean by this? All right. If people are no longer able to purchase cigarettes from stores or fear being fined thousands of dollars and even serving 2 months jail time, they can be motivated to put an end to their tobacco use. Okay? All right. So that's my explanation there. If people are no longer able to purchase cigarettes from stores or fear being fined thousands of dollars and even serving 2 months jail time, they can be motivated to put an end to their tobacco use. Okay, so again, give a condition here, complex sentence, if the condition where they can no longer purchase, or if the condition where they're fined thousands of dollars, quantitative information, or serving 2 months jail time, some more quantitative information, comma, followed by the dependent clause, they can be motivated to put an end to their tobacco use. Okay, so that would be an effective explanation. All right, let's see what you have up there. Amrit had something but erased it. I'm guessing you'll have your explanations coming in a moment. Okay, I'll just refresh my YouTube here. I think I might have frozen up. Okay, give you a few more moments. Okay, it's a second. If you can still hear me, it seems like we're having a little bit of a technical issue here with YouTube, but I'll try to get you back. Just give me one moment. I'm not even sure if you can actually hear me right now, but let's see. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of a technical hiccup there on my end. Yuru, Kisi, Amrit, can you hear me okay right now? YouTube seems to have frozen on my side, but I just restarted it. So let me know if you can hear me. I can see it now. So, okay, thanks, Amrit. All right, so I can see that you have some explanations. Hung says, many people smoke a pack daily due to the addictive nature of nicotine in tobacco. It doesn't just hurt people's health, but it also damages the medical system. Okay, Hung, there you're explaining the negative effects of tobacco. Your goal is not to explain the negative effects of tobacco, but your goal is to explain the banning of cigarettes worldwide as an effective solution to stopping smoking. So careful with information mistakes, Hung, because that can be a big negative on your IELTS band score. You have to make sure that your essay focuses on a clear idea. So here, body paragraph 1 is about banning cigarette smoking worldwide as a solution to stop smoking. So that's what you have to explain, not the negative effects of smoking. Okay. Amrit, I think you're doing the same thing. So Amrit says, smoking causes individuals to become diseased with health issues like coronary heart disease and tuberculosis. Thus, it is going to prove effective for both law and people if cigarette smoking is banned worldwide. So Amrit, again, you're near the end, you're starting to explain why it's effective to ban cigarette smoking worldwide, but you're also focusing on the negative health issues of smoking. You don't need to do that, members, because we already did that in the introduction. So this is why a good introduction is important. So we already say here that smoking is the cancer of society. For the past century and a half, millions of people suffered financial and health deficits of smoking. We don't need to explain that further. We're focusing on the idea of banning cigarettes worldwide, not so much the negatives of cigarettes worldwide. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Yuru says it is the only way to make tobacco unavailable to everyone on the planet. Even if there's one country that permits the production of tobacco, the impacts are on an extensive scale. Nicotine is highly addictive, and it can drive people to go out of their way to get their hands on cigarettes from that one country. Yuru, that's very good. So Yuru, you're focusing on the idea of why we need to ban cigarettes worldwide as a solution. So that works. That's good, Yuru, okay? That's the kind of explanation that the examiner is looking for in this paragraph. Kisi says, smokers who are highly addicted are not able to buy cigarettes. They may find ways to access it from foreign countries. Kisi, very good, okay? Same as Yuru, so you kept it a little bit simpler, but it works, all right? It works just as well. So you're focusing on the solution as well, okay? Is that clear, Amrit and Hung, why we need to focus on more specifically on this solution rather than the actual negatives of smoking? Preeti says, if individuals are discouraged by imposing strict rules like finding a couple $100 and even jail, that can create fear and people stop purchasing cigarettes. Preeti, very good. So same idea. You're closer to mine, but you're explaining why it's effective to take this approach. Very good. Okay, Kisi and Yuru, I really liked your explanations as well. Those were great. All right. Okay, so now comes an example, right? So we can put an example here. Examples should be visible. It's some measurable. It should be a real situation. So it's an example of imposing this rule of making cigarettes illegal. Okay? So again, focus on making tobacco illegal worldwide and give me an example of that and how it can be effective. Okay? So give me a very clear example. I'm going to do the same, and then again we'll compare. All right. So Amrit says, if the government issues a ban the following year, the percentage of people diagnosed with lung cancer every year can decline, which would be one of the most beneficial work done by authorities. Okay, Amrit, I think you're still focusing on the negative effects of smoking rather than the action to stop smoking. Yeah, Yuru, absolutely. Yeah, the example further explains the explanation. You can think about it like that, Yuru. Another way to think about it, Yuru, is the example is a depiction of the explanation, so it creates a picture for what you just explained. Okay, so it helps. Examples should help your reader to visualize your explanations. That's a good way to think about it. It's a very good question, Yuru. Okay, and yes, you can think about it like it explains the explanation visually. Okay. Yeah, I think you're going a little bit off track. I think you're focusing too much on the negative effects of smoking rather than the effectiveness of stopping smoking by banning it worldwide. Okay. All right, Hung says, for instance, the government could announce laws to prohibit buying cigarettes in stores. Not only create strict principles, but also give specific perspectives for individuals for health. Okay, Hung, I think it's a little bit confusing. Choose your words carefully for the future. Yeah, I kind of get where you're going with it, Hung, but you need to be a little bit more careful. Euro says, for instance, many countries outlaw drugs such as marijuana, but it does not necessarily prevent every person in these countries from smoking these drugs since they can buy them from overseas. Yes, it works. Euro, absolutely. Yeah, that works, okay? It's visual, it's a real world example, so it works. Yeah, definitely. It's good, Euro. It works well. Okay. Euro, if you put those elements together that you have so far, you're on a Band 9 essay. Okay, so it's good. Preeti says, for instance, a year ago in my hometown, the government banned tobacco in public places. As well, they bound shopkeepers for selling. If they were caught, they have to pay 5,000 rupees. Preeti, yeah, good. So you're using a real world example. I like it. You want to tie that in with the banning it worldwide. The same, and all you would need to do, Preeti, is just finish by saying the same principles could be applied on an international scale. Okay, so if you added just a little bit more, Preeti, it could make it very strongly cohesive with the information that you already presented. So just by saying similar laws with a complete ban on tobacco could be implemented internationally. Okay, and then that's very good, Preeti. All right. Reba says, for instance, last year the government took a concrete measure by fining smoking in public places and warning factories for producing cigarettes, which in turn reduced the percentage of smokers. This could also be achieved on an international scale by banning cigarettes altogether. So same idea, Reba, as Preeti. You're using a very good example and just connect it in with banning cigarettes worldwide. Okay. Kisi says, for instance, many countries do not allow farmers to grow tobacco. Not only are the punishments severe, but also the trade of cigarettes is forbidden. Yeah, Kisi, good. Okay, good, solid. So you're getting the right idea. Here's my example. For example, the UN could set a date like July 1st when all tobacco production is to cease, and any person caught using or trading cigarettes is punished by 2 weeks in prison. This could definitely decrease tobacco use, but it could come with other dire deficits. I don't like that ending, with other side effects for society. Okay, so I did something a little bit fancy in my example, maybe you noticed, which is basically, I did it with 2 sentences. I added in a connecting sentence or concluding sentence. So this last sentence that I have here, it connects and concludes. So it concludes what I just mentioned in this paragraph. and it connects to my next body paragraph, which is dealing with my second point of the thesis. Okay, so body one is good. We've done a great job. Okay, I definitely recommend, so Yuru, Preeti, Reba, Kisi, copy paste your comments into a Word document so you can see your full body paragraphs after the lesson. Okay, so try to save your writing in another document so that you can review it later, make some corrections, improve your grammar, maybe change some vocabulary as well. But definitely save it so you can have it as a complete essay at the end of today's class. Okay, so does that make sense, that piece of advice? I want to make sure I didn't confuse you there by what I'm trying to get you to do. Okay, all right, Preeti says yes, I will do it. Good. All right, great. Roshni, thanks for the feedback. All right, so now it's a good idea to look back at your second point before you get into it. Of course, you have it in your mind, but you should always look at the second point of your thesis before you start your second body paragraph. That makes sense. Okay, so here's my second point. However, this may not be a viable resolve. Resolve means solution. Viable means realistic. So this may not be a viable resolve because of economic and physical dependence. Okay, so this is what we talked about in the planning. So looking at banning cigarettes worldwide as being maybe ineffective because too many jobs will be lost. People are so addicted they'll start committing crimes. They'll grow tobacco illegally and so on. So that's what our second body paragraph is focusing on. Okay, so let's do that now. Start your topic sentence. Okay, so topic sentence for body paragraph 2 focuses on this is not going to work, so we can't really just simply say, hey, from tomorrow, no more tobacco, nobody can smoke, otherwise you get severely punished, because of that physical and economic dependence. So give me a topic sentence that paraphrases that point from the thesis and gives a little bit more detail for your reader. Again, think about quantitative information. Always keep that in the back of your mind to add numbers and figures into the body paragraphs. That will help you to create more clear communication and, of course, get high band scores and get better scores in university as well. Okay. So Yuru says the viability of a global ban on tobacco is debatable since it can lead to massive job loss as well as sudden increase in crimes. Yeah, absolutely. Amrit says, notwithstanding the ban can lead to some repercussions which could make it worse for both the law and the community, such as the loss of thousands of jobs and increase in crime rates. Yes, Amrit, it's very good. Okay, you could do it that way and then just leave the rest for your explanation, or you could just stretch it a little bit more and give a bit more detail, but it's good, Amrit. It works well. Okay. Definitely a strong topic sentence. All right. All right, so again, always pushing you for those higher and higher levels of English, and not just English, but also literature and expression. So this is my topic sentence for body paragraph 2. I will read the other ones as soon as I'm through. So a sudden ban on tobacco worldwide would undoubtedly lead to massive black market trading of cigarettes, thereby increasing crime rates, as well as the loss of thousands of jobs due to the loss of this multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, here I have repetition of loss and loss. I'm missing an S, so I'm going to correct that. Okay. And we can replace loss with the word demise. Demise means the destructuring of this industry. All right. Kesey says, however, economies would have an impact and crimes, however, economics would have impact and crimes would increase worldwide because of banning cigarettes nationally. Kesey, we're banning cigarettes internationally, not just nationally. And the first part of your sentence is grammatically flawed, which makes it difficult to understand what you're saying. So you need to rework that sentence. You need to rethink it. Parminder, Hunda, good to see you, says, although banning cigarettes worldwide ultimately decreases the production of tobacco, it leads to sudden increases of crime and unemployment. Parminder, it's clear, but it just kind of sounds like a repetition of the thesis. The topic sentence should be more than just simply repeating the thesis, okay? It should give a little bit more detail to the points of your thesis, not just repeat the thesis. What you have there, Parminder, it's clear English, it's good English, but it's a repetition of what we've already written in the essay. The goal of a good essay is to always add a little bit more, a little bit more. It's like a daisy chain of information. So it's like linking more and more information. There's a bit of shadowing, a bit of paraphrasing with more information, a bit of shadowing with more information, a bit of shadowing with more information. Does that make sense? You don't want to have the same information repeating. You want to just shadow with more information. I'm trying to visually represent that linking and adding information with my hands. Hopefully I'm making sense to you as much as that made sense in my own brain. Hopefully you're not looking at me like, what is he doing with his hands? All right. So always aim for a bit more detail and information. Go further down the rabbit hole. That's the magical key to a good essay. Okay. Preeti says, although it is a good idea to seize tobacco factories, it has some negative effects on both employment and could lead to poverty. Amrit, good. Okay, I like it. Preeti, good. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so effects on employment and could lead to poverty. That's great. Okay. Alvina, hi, welcome. There you are. Yeah, I've got your emails, so I'm glad you were able to join. Fantastic. Happy to have you on board. New member. Okay. All right. Let's see. Amrit says, many people's lives depend on the cigarette industry, and their businesses can face great losses, which could lead to poverty. Amrit, good. That works. Your grammar's a little bit off, Amrit, but the idea is very good for the topic sentence. Okay, that works well, right? All right. Roshni says, many products are interconnected to each other, which leads to employment. Unfortunately, that's a new sentence, Roshni. So period, unfortunately, comma, after prohibiting the production of cigarettes, comma, direct negative effects on the physical and financial conditions of people will result. Okay, so I had to do a fair bit of restructuring there, Roshni, but you have the right idea. Okay. Hung says, On the other hand, prohibiting tobacco in the world would cause a massive impact on communities, not only increasing crime rates, but also the unemployment rate. Okay, yes, so it's good, Hung, but kind of the same as with Roshni, where you're just kind of repeating the thesis. You're not giving us more information. Reba says, consequences of banning cigarettes can lead to significant rise in crime as well as the country's economic levels decline by affecting people's dependency. Okay, Reba, you're putting a lot of ideas into that one sentence. You have to be careful with that. The other important point, Reba, is don't jump tenses unnecessarily. So notice the use of will. So you're writing, as well, countries' economic levels will decline. Instead of will, use can decline or do decline. Okay, don't jump to the future participle. Okay, try to stay with the same tense. All right, okay. All right, so here's my topic sentence. A sudden ban on tobacco worldwide would undoubtedly lead to a massive black market trading of cigarettes. So notice right away, I'm basically paraphrasing with detail what it means an increase of crime, okay? So one way, members, that you can think about, okay, well, how do I paraphrase and give more detail? Remember that one of the ways to paraphrase is what's called descriptive paraphrasing. A very simple example of descriptive paraphrasing is it's round, it's a fruit, it's red, it's delicious. We give it to teachers to show appreciation. It's an apple, right? So descriptive paraphrasing is a powerful way to paraphrase, and that's how you should think about your thesis points when you're paraphrasing them in your topic sentences. Does that make sense? So here, black market trading of cigarettes basically paraphrases increase in crimes. Okay, and I have a bit of repetition there. I say increasing in crimes because I make that connection, thereby increasing crime rates. But in fact, if I'm writing this for university, I might even take that part out of this topic sentence because this paraphrases the concept of increase in crimes well enough. Okay, does that make sense? No, Begzod, late, but better late than never. Good for you. Banning tobacco globally would decrease the number of jobs for thousands of people while increasing the crime of trading illegal cigarettes. Begzod, that's a fantastic topic sentence, okay? Exactly what I'm explaining right now. You're giving some very good descriptive paraphrasing to your thesis point, okay? And members, viewers, of course, what I'm teaching you here is not just effective for your IELTS Task 2 band score to get into those 7, 8, 9 levels, but this is what you'll need to do in college and university for your bachelor, master's. And keeping the same structure, you will also get great scores there also, okay? Oh, another new member, Amarjeet, welcome. Great to have you on board. Hi, Alvina, there's your first comment. Happy to see it. All right. Yeah, I was guessing you might have to use a VPN. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish everybody could just access membership without the VPN, but it's the name of the game these days. All right. Okay, and then here in my topic sentence, I further explain with the economies or the negative on the economy, as well as the loss of thousands of jobs due to the demise of this multi-billion-dollar industry. So using some more quantitative information. Now, I realize I haven't said anything about physical dependence, so I should definitely mention that in the explanation because it is in my thesis. Okay, so that's why it's important to keep your thesis in mind. Remember, my thesis says that banning tobacco's smoking globally might not work because of economic and physical dependence. So I need to make sure I include that somewhere in my body paragraph 2, okay? So now I need an explanation for this, okay? And it's exactly the physical dependence that I'm going to use in my explanation. So go ahead, members, write an explanation for this. Okay, here we go. So again, explanation should be measurable, visible, strongly connected to your topic sentence. Okay. All right, so there is my explanation. Okay, so since nicotine is considered as addictive as heroin, people are likely to go to great lengths to continue smoking, including paying a premium and buying tobacco from drug dealers. Drug dealers here, of course, meaning the illegal merchants for drugs. Meanwhile, the many farmers and businessmen whose lives depended on the legal tobacco industry would become unemployed and suffer financially. Okay, so that would work as an explanation for that topic sentence. All right, Amrit says people would either leave their businesses in the cigarette industry or do black market trading, which could decrease employment rates and increase crime. Yeah, Amrit, I think it's a little bit repetitive. You want to, again, think about more details. So, little bit more detail. So, mention what kind of jobs there are in the tobacco industry. So, businessmen and farmers, for instance, right? Mention what the black market is. So it means paying a premium, buying tobacco from drug dealers, right? So try to go into a little bit more detail, okay? I'm not always perfect either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to play high and mighty, but definitely what I'm telling you is what you need to do, okay? Sometimes when I look at my writing, I believe, hey, maybe I could have done it a little bit better also. But the idea is always to reach for further detail, further quantitative, visible, connected information. Okay? All right. No, I know, Amrit, you're a great student. I know you're doing a fantastic job. By the way, you've improved a lot, Amrit, in the past few months. So I'm sure you'll do really well on your exam, okay? So just stay calm and confident, do what you're doing. You'll get a fantastic band score, okay? Just make sure to do at least a few timed exams, okay? All right. So I'm going to continue here with my example while some of you are coming up with the the explanation. We are shortly coming to the end of this class, so I'd like to at least finish up body paragraph 2, and then I will post the conclusion on our community bulletin board later today, okay? So here we go. Bagzad, I see that you have yours up there. I'll get it in a second. I'm just going to put my example in. Okay, so there it is. For instance, a farmer who becomes unemployed may decide to become an illegal dealer of tobacco in order to sustain his standard of living. Of course, this puts his freedom in jeopardy and creates a new type of danger for society. Okay, so that would be an example. Okay, now if I want to conclude this paragraph, I could say for these reasons, for such reasons, creating a global tobacco ban may not be the right resolve after all. All right. So that's my body paragraph 2. Okay, students, that is all the time that I have for today's class. I'm going to read the last comments that came up, starting with Bagzad, and then the conclusion I will put onto our community board with the full essay, okay? So Bagzad says, these days cigarette industry has become one of the leading businesses worldwide, and prohibiting tobacco production would definitely impact governments as it should provide jobs for those who worked in that industry. Yeah, Bagzad, that works, okay? Kisi says, tobacco gives people a sense of comfort and helps them to release pressure. If smokers are addicted to nicotine, they are likely to access it from the black market to give a space to crime from the black market. Increasing the opportunity for more crime, I think, Kisi. I get what you're saying by give a space to crime, but I think you're translating that from Mandarin, Kisi. You can't, it doesn't quite make sense in English that way, okay? Preeti says, people tend to purchase tobacco because of addiction, and even though they buy it from the, and even though it is illegal, they will buy it, or they can buy it from the black market. In addition, lots of workers depend on their subcutaneous need on this tobacco industry. Okay, Preeti, nice use of the word subcutaneous. Just be careful with your grammar, Preeti. Keep practicing your grammar, okay? Alvina says, prohibition of tobacco can cause growth of smuggling as well as increase of unemployment rate for people who lost their jobs. Okay. Alvina, watch the grammar as well. I get what you're saying, Little bit awkward with the grammar. I did a little bit of correction there. Okay. All right. Yeah, Roshni, if you go to the comment section on our channel, there's a kind of a comments and posts section. Then you can find full task 2 essays there. Okay. So just search on our Academic English Help channel and you'll find it. Okay, there's a community board where you'll find it in the comments, okay? All right, students, so that's the introduction, body 1, body 2, lots of information, some really nice writing from members today. I was very happy to see that. I'm very happy to see your improvement. Amrit, I appreciate your super chat donation. That's fantastic. Every penny counts to help us grow and help more students like yourselves. So again, good luck, Amrit, on your test next Saturday. If you have questions until then, make sure to send them to my email, okay? You're very welcome, Bagzad. You're very welcome, Preeti. For everybody who's watching, definitely check us out on our websites for over 100 hours of video lessons, 6 original practice exams, and a fully interactive course for your phone, tablet, PC. Academic, IELTS, check us out at aehelp.com. General version of the exam, check us out at gieltshelp.com. In 30 minutes, I will host another class where everybody can chat. That will be for reading. It will be a reading passage that we will do together. You're very welcome, Parminder. You're very welcome, Hung. Great to see new members in the class. Members, send me an email so I can hook you up with our perks, okay? You do get perks and you can request classes. Yuru, thank you for the request for this class. Keep requesting. That's it for now. Much love to all of you. Hopefully see you in 30 short minutes. Bye for now.